Hello, this is Quick News with Doug. So the cases for today are at 588,000. This is for the U.S. 588,000. And the total number of deaths are at 24,480. So the deaths have gone up by approximately 1,000, and the cases have gone up by about 10,000. So Andrew Cuomo, the governor of New York, said that we could have a problem if Trump tries to reopen New York. Now that may be true. We may have problems when we start to reopen. We may see a second wave coming, but the economy can't suffer this long, or can't keep going like this. You have to reopen at some time, so you can't just keep holding back. Sweden, I believe it was, they were doing a thing where basically they had some restrictions, but if you're under 60 and you didn't have underlying health conditions, then you could basically go out and do it. And they don't think that Sweden will have another second wave, but they are doing a little bit worse than the other countries around there. So they were saying that people were interpreting that Sweden had done a terrible job. They completely blew it. But it's not over yet. At the end of the year, we'll see how Sweden did compared to not really doing many restrictions compared to the other countries. So there may be problems. We may start seeing second waves when we try to reopen, but we can't go like this forever. I don't know how to say her name. Let's see. Dr. Nepi. Okay, I'm not even going to try. So Dr. Devi appeared on America's Newsroom Tuesday to explain why the new COVID-19 saliva test would help conserve protective healthcare equipment and improve the testing operation in general. So sorry. Right now we're relying on the nasal swab. The author of Coronavirus Made Simple said, a healthcare provider, usually on the front lines, has to come really close to the patient to be able to get that swab, to get that test. And in order to do that, he or she has to have a lot of protective equipment on, like gowns, gloves, masks, and the whole works. The director of Metropolis Pain Medicine said. So they're going to have a new type, new saliva-based coronavirus test. It's not going to be a nasal swab anymore. It's going to be easier and not as much equipment to use. Right now, I don't think there's not a single hospital in the U.S. that couldn't do whatever they could. The ventilators were all fine. It looks like they'll be fine. The masks, the gloves, most of it was, it was all fine. The hospital said that nobody died because they couldn't provide them anything. So the equipment is looking fine, but this is supposed to just help it even more. So last story for today. It goes back, not a coronavirus story for the first time in a while, but CNN, this says CNN missing in action on Biden's assault accuser Tara Reade's story. So they're basically CNN, when Brett Kavanaugh had the whole case and hearing, CNN, MSNBC, Washington Post, New York Times, they were all completely streaming this a ton, doing all these stories on it. And I like to focus on New York Times for this. New York Times was they kind of, for the Joe Biden case, they didn't really say anything. They didn't explain a lot. That's what CNN and all these media sources are doing. They're not giving the information on Biden's assault accusations, but they completely did it for Brett Kavanaugh. I heard that the Tara Reade story, I guess she had told people at the time, the people at the that she told remembered her telling. So she told people about the Brett Kavanaugh case. The lady accusing Brett Kavanaugh said that she hadn't told anybody at the time. She had just kind of started. This one's completely different, but nobody's really covering it. So basically, because of all the media sources, Biden just got away with this and no one cared. It's equally important someone running for president who has a good shot of getting it and a Supreme Court justice. So they're both equally important, but because one's Republican, one's Democrat, obviously the media sources, besides really Fox News, which is on what I'm on right now, no one really covered this Biden story, and he completely got away with it. Just shows how unfair. There are some unfair sides to the Democrats. They don't do it completely, but I'd say most of the fake news or media sites that don't cover it or only cover the bad about conservatives, that's the main thing. There's not really a lot of media sites that focus on the Democrats. They only focus on what the Republicans are doing wrong. So that is it for today. Thank you for watching, and I will see you on the next episode.